The photos changed before I noticed the names did, and by the time I saw her face again, it was too late to convince myself. It hadn't always been there. I used to think the dead stayed dead online, but apparently no one's offline forever anymore. Grief doesn't delete you, it archives you somewhere quieter. I wasn't even looking for her, not really, just trying to clean up old files from my phone after a sync error, and Facebook kept freezing when I tried to delete the Memories tab, which I've hated for years anyway, so I clicked into it instead there. She was third post down, same face from high school, that pale blue dress from her birthday in '94, except the caption wasn't one I remembered writing, and I sure as hell didn't tag her in anything because we buried her 10 days after that. Photo was taken, and I haven't said her name out loud since. It wasn't like one of those old reposts where the algorithm dredges up something fun from your past. It was a new upload with a timestamp from last week, and it didn't even say who posted it, just updated by account owner. Her profile had changed too, her hometown was gone, her college was listed as some university that didn't exist in the 90s, and her current city was marked private, like someone had gone in and locked it all down. I assumed it was a hack, maybe someone else using her name, so I clicked report, but nothing happened. It just loaded endlessly, then flicked back to the same photo, and I swear to you the background was different. This time, like it had shifted half a step left, her head was tilted just slightly more to the side, the kitchen light behind her was missing, and the shadow on the wall stretched longer than it should have, as if the sun was setting when it wasn't. I scrolled down too fast, suddenly needing to see if anyone had commented, but there was nothing, no likes, no shares, just one word underneath in gray text: edited. That's when I checked the page URL because I wanted to prove to myself this was someone else entirely, just a shared name or some old tribute page someone had recycled, but it wasn't. It was her original profile. I remembered the username. I remembered making it for her back when we were kids, before parents got online, when it felt like a prank to sign her up for something she'd never use. I made her a Gmail too. We'd just sit there after school in my garage and make up fake bios for classmates, laugh about who'd put what in their favorite movies tab. I swear she was still alive when we did that. I would have remembered if it was after. I would have, but now the timeline feels foggy in my head, like parts are out of order or not mine at all, and I don't know if that's just age or the way memory rots when you stop watering it, but I've started to lose the feel of what her voice sounded like, except for that night. That one night I still remember that sound she made after I told her that sharp inhale, like she was going to say something, but didn't, just turned her head away and stared at the wall behind me, like someone was standing there watching. We were 17. It was raining. We were in my car. I told her I didn't love her, not really, not the way she thought, and she nodded, like she understood. Then she got out. She didn't slam the door or cry or call back, just walked toward her house like her feet were already tired of being alive. That was the last time I saw her in motion. The crash happened 2 days later. She was driving back from her uncle's cabin, apparently, though no one could explain why she left at 4 a.m. Her car was found upside down near the lake, no skid marks, no sign of brakes. Open bottle of sleeping pills in the glove compartment, they said. It was wet roads, poor visibility, but I knew, I always knew. She'd asked me once as a joke, would you still talk to me if I came back wrong? And I laughed because what the hell does that mean? And she said, like if something happened, if I went missing or lost my mind, if I showed up again, but you could tell something was off, would you still pretend I was me? And I think about that more than I should, because now I'm not sure when she started changing. I went back to her Facebook later that night around 2 a.m., and the banner photo had changed again. Just a pale hallway out of focus with something dark in the corner, like the edge of a coat or maybe hair, but I couldn't zoom in. The comment section was open now, but empty, except for one message posted by you, which is what the app shows when you comment without realizing. It just said, "Are you home?" I don't remember typing that. I don't remember thinking it, but it was there. Timestamped 1:54 a.m. I sat there staring at it until the screen dimmed, and even then I didn't move. Just kept waiting for a reply, like I was still 17 and afraid to go to bed before she texted goodnight. That's the part that makes me feel the worst, honestly not the fear, but the muscle memory of wanting to talk to her. The part of me that's still stuck in that loop because it didn't end with the post. The next morning I checked her Gmail. I remembered the login, same dumb password we used for everything. Back then our street name plus the year we met. It worked. Inbox was empty. No sent messages, no drafts, except one, labeled 1 unsent. Opened at 5:16 a.m. the day before. It was addressed to me. My name, my current email, no subject, just 2 lines. I forgive you. Please stop asking questions. It was in her voice, not literally. Just the way she used to write the double space after periods, the lowercase I. When she got lazy, the way she'd end a sentence before it really finished, like. She was afraid of sounding too honest. I closed the tab, cleared my history, deleted the password from memory. But I didn't sleep, not that night, not the one after. I kept checking things slowly, obsessively. Old backup drives, yearbooks, photos. I found our prom picture in a plastic sleeve under my bed, and something about it felt off, but I couldn't name what. Then I realized her corsage was white in the photo. I remembered it being blue. I remembered my mom saying how it matched her dress. I texted my mom and asked. She said we didn't go to prom together. She said I went alone that year because she'd been gone already. I asked what she meant. She said I came home early that night and cried in my room, said it was for the best that we hadn't spoken in months. I said that didn't make sense. We were together in May. The photo had the date stamped. She was in the background of a selfie. I posted on Flickr. She left a comment. I checked, the comment's still there. You looked better before you smiled. But when I clicked her name, it didn't go anywhere, just said user not found. I checked the edit history of the post. No record of it ever being changed, but the photo's caption now ends with prom. Was quiet this year. I didn't write that. I didn't write any of this. And now, I'm wondering if I wrote her or if she wrote me. If she was ever really separate from the parts of me that needed her to exist. I tried logging back into her Facebook last night, and this time it asked for 2-factor authentication. It said the code was sent to a device ending in 44. That's the last 2 digits of her childhood landline. I tried again, same result. Then the screen refreshed and said, your session has expired. Please confirm your identity. Beneath that was a photo I'd never seen, me from behind, sitting at my desk, taken from the hallway. No one else was in the apartment. The timestamp was yesterday. I closed the laptop. I walked outside. Didn't lock the door. I just kept walking until the sky changed color and I couldn't feel my legs. I slept in my car behind the gas station, where we used to buy scratch-offs and soda after school. I woke up with the radio on, playing a song she used to hum but never knew the lyrics to. That's what finally broke me. The sound of her not finishing something. The trailing edge of a melody that never ends. I went home this morning. My laptop was off, my phone was dead. But the lights were all on in the hallway, even the one that buzzes and flickers, because the wiring's wrong. It doesn't stay on longer than a few seconds usually. I've had the electrician out twice. They said it can't be fixed, but it's been glowing steadily for hours now, like it knows I'm watching it. I stood under it and said her name aloud for the first time in decades. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel real. But the light dimmed just slightly, then came back stronger. I sat on the floor. I opened my voice notes app. I hit record. I needed to hear myself say these things, needed proof. I wasn't writing her into existence just to fill a hole. I carved. I talked for 43 minutes straight. Then I hit stop. When I went to play it back, there were 2 files, one labeled recording 106, which I expected, the other unfiled memory. No timestamp. No size, just a play button. I listened. It was her laughing, breathing, then whispering my name like she was standing inside my mouth. Then silence. Then you didn't love me. You remembered me wrong. That's all. I've deleted nothing since I'm afraid of what will stay. The hallway light still hasn't gone out. Her profile is no longer searchable. But last night my friend sent me a screenshot. Dude, isn't this your old girlfriend? It was a comment on a news article from 3 days ago about a missing girl. The username was hers. The comment just said, "She's not missing, she's just in between." I've stopped. Closing tabs. I don't log out anymore. I leave the door cracked at night, and sometimes I hum that song, the one she never finished, because if she comes back wrong again, I don't think I'll notice. I don't think I'll care. I don't even know if I ever sent this, but if you're hearing it, don't tag her, don't reply. Just let her memory rot where I buried it. Because whatever's answering now, it isn't asking for forgiveness. It's asking to be remembered exactly the way I left. Her unfinished, stuck in place, still typing, still online. The window was nailed shut, but something small tapped it every night. I told myself it was rain, but the sky never moved, and the tapping always stopped when I opened my eyes. They said the house was condemned in 1978. I remember reading the report. Yellowed from time and flattened in a manila folder with no tabs, like someone meant to file it away, but never did. Unsafe structure, faulty wiring, suspected carbon monoxide leak. But it wasn't the warnings that stuck with me. It was the note paper clipped to the top, almost like someone had to say it out loud to believe it. No children were ever found, but the 911 call came from inside. I don't know why that line followed me for so long. I saw worse things back then. Fires with bones in them, apartments where ceiling fans spun over bloodstains. I don't know, maybe it's because of how still that house looked in the photo. You could almost hear the silence pouring out of it. I didn't plan on going back, not until the department called about the archive digitization. Old cases, analog tapes, reel to reel. I was just supposed to label the boxes. That's all a temp job. In and out, no emotions, no memories. Then I found the tape. It didn't have a number, just a piece of masking tape across the spine with a single word scribbled in pencil. Call. It shouldn't have been there. 911 tapes are supposed to be transcribed and destroyed. I almost put it back, but the reel was warm in my hand, like it had just been played. I don't remember threading it into the machine. I just remember the static clicking on and a voice, quiet, high, deliberate. Not scared, just flat. "Hello," the child said. "A boy, maybe. I need help. The door is stuck again." No address, no name. Just the voice and the soft hum of silence behind it. "I waited in the yellow room like she said," he continued. "I didn't touch the walls this time. I didn't say the name out loud. Can I go outside now?" The operator's voice never came. Maybe it was erased. Maybe it never existed. I kept waiting for a response. But the boy just filled the gaps with phrases that got quieter and harder to explain. "The furniture's in the wrong place again. There's something behind the wallpaper that whispers when I sleep. I don't like the basement, but the air's thin upstairs." Then silence, but not silence like the end of a call. Silence like someone still holding the phone, waiting for permission to speak. I hit stop. I sat there in the dark of the archive room, only the glow of the reel machine flickering against the gray metal shelves. I told myself it was just a hoax, a prank recording, maybe even an art project. But the report, the 1978 one, it specifically said the call was traced. The house had no power, no phone line, and no living occupants. The next day, I drove by it. I shouldn't have. I just wanted to see if it was real. The kind of house your brain erases because it doesn't want to assign memory to it. Peeling blue paint, a porch sagging into its own shadow, every window shut like an eye that doesn't blink. But what struck me was the door. It was new, not just newer than the house, but brand new, painted red. No handle on the outside, like it was never meant to open again. I took a photo. I deleted it later. I told myself I imagined the movement in the upstairs window. The flicker of yellow like an old bulb swinging from a cord. I told myself it was probably just some squatters' generator or headlights reflecting weird. But when I checked the real estate database later that night, the house had been listed as razed in 1983. Not vacant, not condemned, erased. No structure by that number, no parcel listed. The street was there. But the house wasn't. I still had the tape. I didn't know why I hadn't turned it in or destroyed it. It sat on my desk like it was waiting. Some nights I'd wake up and swear I heard it playing, the faint clicking of the reel, a child's breath. The phrase, "I didn't open the door this time," echoing before I even hit play the third time. I listened, the voice was different. It was slower, like it was trying to remember something it had said too many times. "She moves the rooms while I sleep," he said. "I leave my shoes under the chair, but they end up in the sink." Then quieter, "She's getting louder," and then something that didn't sound like words. Just the sound of breathing through teeth, almost like a growl. Not from the boy, from somewhere behind him. I tried to digitize the tape. It wouldn't copy. The software crashed every time. I even tried recording it with my phone. Nothing came through but the sound of my own heartbeat. I emailed the department, asking for the case number. They responded with a file that had been sealed for decades. It only had 2 documents inside the original call trace and a photograph taken from inside the house. The photo was blurry dark, like someone took it without a flash, but in the center was a child's handprint on the inside of a window. Not a bloody print, just condensation, like the room was warmer than the air outside. But the detail that stopped me cold was the calendar on the wall behind the glass. March 1978, every day crossed off in pencil, except one, the 14th, circled twice. The day the call was made, I started dreaming about the house, but it wasn't falling apart in the dream. It was clean lit, lived in. I would walk the hallways barefoot, and every step echoed like I was underground. The same rooms over and over: yellow room, green bathroom, narrow stairwell with no handrail. And at the end of each hallway, the red door. It never opened, but I always woke up before I reached it. I went back one more time. I told myself I just needed to see it with my own eyes, that it wasn't real, that it wasn't calling me. But I parked 2 blocks away. I walked slow. It was dusk. Everything was still, but the grass was cut. The porch had been swept. And when I stepped closer, I noticed something written in chalk on the steps. Child's handwriting. "Come inside now, you're late." I backed away. I left. I didn't look back. But that night the tape played by itself. I swear to you, I had unplugged the machine. But when I walked into the room, the reel was spinning, and the boy's voice was crying now. Not loud, just broken. "I tried to be good," he whispered. "I didn't open the window this time." Then a pause. Then, "She's sitting in the corner now," she said. "It's your turn." I threw the tape away. I burned it. I watched the reel melt. I poured water on it. I left the remains outside. But the next morning, it was back on my desk. Not melted, not wet, just sitting there, no label. Now just blank. And when I pressed play, it wasn't the boy anymore. It was me, my own voice calling for help, saying the words I hadn't spoken yet. "I'm in the yellow room," I heard myself say. The furniture moved again. Then the tape cut off, dead air, until a new voice came in, female, familiar, breathy, whispering something I'll never forget. "You're late again." That night my apartment changed, not visibly, not suddenly, but subtly. The light in the hallway buzzed even when it was off. The power bill started arriving with the wrong name. My own handwriting on envelopes I never addressed. And every night at exactly 2:14 a.m., the sound of static came from the corner of the room, like a reel spinning with no tape. I stopped sleeping. I stopped talking about it. I lost my job, my friends. Every time I tried to show someone the tape, it was blank. Every time I sent the file, it failed to upload. The call didn't just come from inside the house. It never ended. It just waited. Waited for someone to listen again. And the worst part, the part I can't say out loud without shaking, is that I've started answering it, at first just in dreams. Then gradually in small behaviors. I moved the couch and didn't know why. I started crossing off days on a calendar. I didn't hang. I found a window nailed shut behind my bookcase. A red door in a place where no door should be. And last night I heard a child's voice whisper through the static again. "She's getting closer." I don't know what this is, a haunting, a loop, a punishment. But I know the rules now. I know how it keeps going. One voice at a time, one room at a time. And if you've listened this far, if you're still here, then I'm sorry, because that means it's your turn now. Do you hear the reel spinning, the tap at the window? Don't answer it. Don't move the furniture. And whatever you do, don't go near the red door. It's open now, and she's waiting for you to come inside.